ॐ ॐ शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ श्रीगुरवे श्रीसत्यसाईनाथ श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः। ॐ श्री परमगुरवे श्री शिरडी साईनाथ श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः। ॐ श्री परमेष्टि गुरवे श्री दत्तात्रेय स्वामी श्रीपादुकां पूजयामि नमः। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। हरिः ॐ। अक्षस्रक्परशुङ्गदेषु कुलिशं पद्मं धनुष्कुण्डिकां दण्डं शक्तिमसिञ्च चर्मजलजं घण्टान्सुराभाजनं शूलं पाशसुदर्शने च दधतीं हस्तैः प्रवालप्रभां सेवे शैरिभमर्दिनीमिह महालक्ष्मीं सरोजस्थिताम्। ॐ श्री साईश्वराय नमः। हरिः ॐ। अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः। ॐ नमश्चण्डिकायै। ॐ ऋषिरुवाच निहन्यमानं तत्सैन्यमवलोक्य महासुरः सेनानीश्चिक्षुरः कोपाद्ययो योद्धुमथाम्बिकां स देवीं शरवर्षेण ववर्ष समरे सुरः यथा मेरुगिरेः शृङ्गन्तोयवर्षेण तोयदः तस्य छित्त्वा ततो देवी लीलयैव शरोत्करान् जघानतुरगान् बाणैर्यन्तारञ्चैव वाजिनां चिच्छेद च धनुः सद्योध्वजं चातिसमुच्छ्रितम् विव्याध चैव गात्रेषु छिन्नधन्वानमाशुगैः सच्छिन्नधन्वा विरथो हताश्वो हतसारथिः अभ्यधावत तां देवीम् अभ्यधावत तां देवीम् सच्छिन्नधन्वा विरथो हताश्वो हतसारथिः अभ्यधावत तां देवीं खड्गं चर्मधरोऽसुरः सिंहमाहत्य खड्गेन तीक्ष्णधारेण मूर्धनि आजघानभुजे सव्ये देवीमप्यतिवेगवान् तस्याः खड्गो भुजं प्राप्य पपाल नृपनन्दन ततो जग्राह शूलं स कोपादरुणलोचनः चिक्षेप च ततस्तत्तु भद्रकाल्यां महासुरः जाज्वल्यमानं तेजोभिरविबिम्बमिवाम्बरात् दृष्ट्वा तदापतच्छूलं देवी शूलममुञ्चत तेन तच्छ तथा नीतं शूलं स च महासुरः हते तस्मिन् महावीर्ये महिषस्य चमूपतौ आजगामगजारूढश्चामरस्त्रिदशार्दनः सोऽपि शक्तिं मुमोचाथ देव्यास्तामम्बिकाद्रुतं हुङ्काराभिहतां भूमौ पातयामास निष्प्रभां भग्नां शक्तिं निपतितां दृष्ट्वा क्रोधसमन्वितः चिक्षेप चामरः शूलं बाणैस्तदपि साच्छिनत् ततः सिंहः समुत्पत्य गजकुम्भान्तरे स्थितः बाहुयुद्धेन युयुधे तेनोच्चैस्त्रिदशारिणा युध्यमानो ततस्तौ तु तस्मान्नागान् महीङ्गतौ युयुधातेति संरब्धौ प्रहारैरतिदारुणैः ततो वेगात् खमुत्पत्य निपत्य च मृगारिणा करप्रहारेण शिरश्चामरस्य पृथक् कृतम् उदग्रश्चरणे देव्या शिलावृक्षादिभिर्गतः दन्तमुष्टितलैश्चैव करालश्च निपातितः देवी क्रुद्धा गदापातैश्चूर्णयामास चोद्धतं बाष्कलं भिन्दिपालेन बाणैस्ताम्रं तथान्धकम् उग्रास्यमुग्रवीर्यं च तथैव च महाहनुम् त्रिनेत्रा च त्रिशूलेन जघान परमेश्वरी बिडालस्यासिनाकायात् पातयामास वैशिरः दुर्धरं दुर्मुखं चोभौ शरैर्निन्येयमक्षयम् एवं सङ्क्षीयमाणे तु स्वसैन्ये महिषासुरः माहिषेण स्वरूपेण त्रासयामास तान् गणान् कांश्चित्तुण्डप्रहारेण खुरक्षेपैस्तथा परान् लाङ्गूलिताडितांश्चान्यान् शृङ्गाभ्यां च विदारितान् वेगेन कांश्चिदपरान्नादेन भ्रमणेन च निःश्वासपवनेनान्यान् पातयामास भूतले निपात्य प्रमथानीकमभ्यधावत सोऽसुरः सिंहं हन्तुं महादेव्याः कोपञ्चक्रे ततोऽम्बिका सोऽपि कोपान् महावीर्यः खुरक्षुण्णमहीतलः शृङ्गाभ्यां पर्वतानुच्चांश्चिक्षेप च ननाद च वेगभ्रमणविक्षुण्णा महीतस्य व्यसीर्यत लाङ्गूलेनाहतश्चाब्धिः प्लावयामास सर्वतः धृतशृङ्गविभिन्नाश्च खण्डं खण्डं ययुर्गणाः श्वासानिलास्ताः शतसो निपेतुर्नभसोऽचलाः इति क्रोधसमाध्मातमापतन्तं महासुरं दृष्ट्वा सा चण्डिका कोपं तद्वधाय तदाकरोत् साक्षिप्त्वा तस्य वैपाशन्तं बबन्ध महासुरम् तत्याजमाहिषं रूपं सोऽपि बद्धो महामृधे ततः सिंहो भवत्सद्यो यावत् तस्याम्बिकाशिरः छिनत्ति तावत् पुरुषः खड्गपाणिरदृश्यत तत एवाशु पुरुषं देवी चिच्छेदसायकैः तं खड्गचर्मणा सार्धं ततः सोऽभून् महागजः करेण च महासिंहं तञ्च कर्ष जगर्ज च कर्षतस्तु करं देवी खड्गेन निरकृन्तता ततो महासुरो भूयो माहिषं वपुरा स्थितः तथैव क्षोभयामास त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hari Om Shalom, Sai Ram, Namaste. We're studying the third chapter of Devi Mahatyam, and last week we concluded where the mother watches this Mahishasura who, seeing his army destroyed, terrified the troops of the Devi with his buffalo form. And when he took this buffalo form, he hit some by the muzzle, he trampled some by the hooves, he lashed some with his tail, he tore apart others with his horns, some he made them fall on the earth by sheer speed, some by his bellowing and wheeling movement, and some by the blast of his breath. I don't know if you went back and did the homework. There are 8 techniques used by him, Mahishasura, and you will notice that many Mahishasuras when they are insulted, when their ego is hurt, and when anger rages, they use the same techniques, physically or mentally. Same techniques are used, but we are not aware of our own techniques unless somebody records them. Uh, yeah, very beautifully, Babita said, I don't know my mistakes, so somebody has to tell me how many mistakes I made while I am chanting. Yes, that is a very true statement. You don't know your mistakes, so you have to record them. Once you record and review, then you will know, oh, how many mistakes have I made? And once you record them, you don't go back and you try, once you record them, you fix the mistakes and you don't go back and repeat them, because once that mistake comes back, you will be aware, oh, I made that mistake. And similarly, in the context of this Mahishasura, see how many ways the Rishi is describing: hitting with the muzzle, trampling, lashing the tail, tearing with horns, speed, shouting, bellowing, and wheeling movement, and the blast of the breaths. How come you insult me? Huh? How come? Then the teeth will also come together. Every movement is recorded. Then the mother, then what he did to enrage the mother, she was not worried about all of this stuff. She was watching very quietly with a smile on her face. Then he rushed to slay the lion of the mother. That enraged her. Ah, very important point. I don't know if you are seeing the same thing as I am seeing. I'm not seeing some Mahishasura Devi business here. This is right in front of the eyes. What does it mean that she got enraged when the lion was hit? And then, with great valor, he pounded with the hooves in rage and tossed mountains with his horns at her. And he howled or bellowed terribly. That's bellowing. That's the sound of a buffalo. Crushed by that speed, the earth crumbled into pieces. Lashed by the tail, the oceans flooded everywhere. Pierced by his horns, the clouds went into pieces. And then the breath lifted the mountains into the sky and brought them down like a shower. What a beautiful description. This havoc that we create when our egos are hurt, either internally or externally, or physically or mentally, this is the havoc that is caused. How we shatter everything into pieces, break things apart. Oceans flooding means blood pressure rising. That is oceans flooding. Then the mother, seeing him advancing towards her in that rage, then she decided it's time to take care of this guy. And therefore she flung the noose around him to bind him. When he was bound in that battle, he immediately gave up the buffalo form, then suddenly became a lion. And when he became the lion, she cut his head off. Then he took the appearance of a man with a sword in the hand. Then the goddess immediately killed that man. Then he became a huge elephant and pulled her lion with his trunk, roaring loudly. When he was dragging the lion, she cut off the trunk of the lion with her sword. Then he became a buffalo again, and the three worlds, with both the movable and immovable objects, literally shook apart. Then the mother, tatah kruddha jaganmata, Chandika panamuttamam. Please share the screen. Papau punah punaschaiva jahasa runalochana. At this, the goddess, the mother, became enraged. Tatakruddha Jaganmata Chandika Panamuttamam. She took the divine drink that was in her hand, Surabhajanam. She took that and she drank from that again and again. Papau, ante drinking, papau, punaf punaschaiva, again and again. Jaha saw she whose eyes were red. Arunalochana. Tatak क्रुद्धा जगन्माता
ततः क्रुद्धा जगन्माता ततः क्रुद्धा जगन्माता
चण्डिकापानमुत्तमम्
चण्डिकापानमुत्तमम् चण्डिकापानमुत्तमम्
पपौ पुनः पुनश्चैव
पपौ पुनः पुनश्चैव पपौ पुनः पुनश्चैव
जहासारुणलोचना
जहासारुणलोचना जहासारुणलोचना
ततः क्रुद्धा जगन्माता चण्डिकापानमुत्तमम् पपौ पुनः पुनश्चैव जहासारुणलोचना
ततः क्रुद्धा जगन्माता चण्डिकापानमुत्तमम् पपौ पुनः पुनश्चैव जहासारुणलोचना ततः क्रुद्धा जगन्माता चण्डिकापानमुत्तमम् पपौ पुनः पुनश्चैव जहासारुणलोचना
ननर्दच असुरः स अपि बलवीर्यमद उद्धतः विषाणाभ्याञ्च चिक्षेप चण्डिकां प्रतिभूधरान्. Then the Asura also got intoxicated with what? Bala, Virya, Mada, Uddhataha, by his strength and valor. He also got intoxicated. Vishanabhyancha chikshepa. Then he uprooted the mountains and threw and threw them at Mother Chandika. Nanardachasurasopi
ननर्दचासुरस्योऽपि ननर्दचासुरस्योऽपि
बलवीर्यमदोद्धतः
बलवीर्यमदोद्धतः बलवीर्यमदोद्धतः
विषाणाभ्याञ्च चिक्षेप
विषाणाभ्यां च चिक्षेप विषाणाभ्यां च चिक्षेप
चण्डिकां प्रतिभूधरान्.
चण्डिकां प्रतिभूधरान् चण्डिकां प्रतिभूधरान्
ननर्दचासुरः सोऽपि बलवीर्यमदोद्धतः विषाणाभ्याम् च चिक्षेप चण्डिकाम् प्रतिभूधरान्
ननर्दचासुरः सोऽपि बलवीर्यमदोद्धतः विषाणाभ्याम् च चिक्षेप चण्डिकाम् प्रतिभूधरान् ननर्दचासुरः सोऽपि बलवीर्यमदोद्धतः विषाणाभ्याम् च चिक्षेप चण्डिकाम् प्रतिभूधरान्
सा च तान् प्रहितांस्तेन चूर्णयन्ती शरोत्करैः उवाच तं मदोद्धूत मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम्. Then she, the mother, Churnayanti, Prahitansteva Churnayanti Sharotkarai, with her arrows, she pulverized the mountains that were being hurled at her. And then she started speaking, Uvachatam. She also was in this place of total, um, with her mukha, her face turning red with the intoxication caused by what she drank, the divine elixir. And people here translate as wine. There is nothing there in the shloka that says she drank wine. Uvachatam mada uddhuta mukharaga kulaksharam. She also had this divine elixir, and now her face turned red in color and she started speaking. Sa च तान् प्रहितांस्तेन
सा च तान् प्रहितांस्तेन सा च तान् प्रहितांस्तेन
चूर्णयन्ती शरोत्करैः
चूर्णयन्ती शरोत्करैः चूर्णयन्ती शरोत्करैः
उवाच तं मदोद्धूत
उवाच तं मदोद्धूत उवाच तं मदोद्धूत
मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम्.
मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम् मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम्
सा च तान् प्रहितांस्तेन चूर्णयन्ती शरोत्करैः उवाच तं मदोद्धूत मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम्.
सा च तान् प्रहितांस्तेन चूर्णयन्ती शरोत्करैः उवाच तं मदोद्धूत मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम् सा च तान् प्रहितांस्तेन चूर्णयन्ती शरोत्करैः उवाच तं मदोद्धूत मुखरागाकुलाक्षरम्
देव्युवाच
देव्युवाच देव्युवाच
Then the mother started speaking, and the mother said, Garja Garja, come on, keep shouting, shouting. Mudha, you fool. Madhu, yavat pibamyaham, until I finish this madhu. Maya tvayi hata atraiva garjishantyashu devatah. In this way, placed in this way, what happens after this is over, when you are when you are eliminated, hata atraiva garjishantyashu devatah, then all the devatas will be roaring with joy. So you have time until I finish this madhu. Madhu is translated by some people as wine. Yes, there is a meaning of madhu as wine, but also madhu also means honey. Madhu also means something that is sweet. does not necessarily mean madhu, because our perception when somebody lifts a glass is that they are drinking only alcohol. Uh, even with great vidwans that I have seen, people making comments. See, he's taking a glass and drinking as if he's drinking, some alcohol. No, he's not drinking alcohol. You fool! It is your head that is made up about what that other person is drinking. Madhu means something that is sweet. Madhu. Madhuvataratayate madhuksharanti sindhavaha. This is the mantra that we chant when we offer honey to the god. Their madhu is honey. Until I finish this madhu, maya tvayihata atraiva garjishyantyasu devataah. Garja garja kshanam moodha
गर्ज गर्ज क्षणं मूढ गर्ज गर्ज क्षणं मूढ
madhu yavat pibamyaham.
मधु यावत् पिबाम्यहम् मधु यावत् पिबाम्यहम्
मया त्वयि हते sorry मया त्वयि हतेऽत्रैव
मया त्वयि हतेऽत्रैव मया त्वयि हतेऽत्रैव
गर्जिष्यन्त्याशु देवताः.
गर्जिष्यन्त्याशु देवताः गर्जिष्यन्त्याशु देवताः
गर्ज गर्ज क्षणं मूढ मधु यावत् पिबाम्यहम्. मया त्वयि हतेऽत्रैव गर्जिष्यन्त्याशु देवताः.
गर्ज गर्ज क्षणं मूढ मधु यावत् पिबाम्यहम् मया त्वयि हतेऽत्रैव गर्जिष्यन्त्याशु देवताः गर्
ऋषिरु sorry
गर्ज गर्ज क्षणं मूढ मधु यावत् पिबाम्यहम् मया त्वयि हतेऽत्रैव गर्जिष्यन्त्याशु देवताः
ऋषिरुवाच.
ऋषिरुवाच ऋषिरुवाच
Then the Rishi said, which Rishi?
Sumedha.
Sumedha.
Okay. Just checking if you are still actively paying attention to who is talking to who. एवमुक्त्वा samutpatya सा आरूढ़ा तं महासुरं पाद एन आक्रम्य कंठे च शूलेनैव मताडयत्. एवमुक्त्वा, then having spoken thus, the Devi all of a sudden jumped up and sat on the neck of this Mahishasura. Sa ante she arudha tam mahasuram arudha. She just jumped onto him. Padenakramya kantecha. Then with her foot she pressed his neck and also stuck him with the trident. Shulenaina matadayat. This is a beautiful way of concluding the the 2022 and welcoming the new year. We have no idea how blessed we are to watch the mother killing all these vices within us and also attacking this false identification of ourselves with this Mahishasura. And how blessed this Mahishasura has to be that the mother jumped onto him and with her foot, now you can see very clearly what she is doing. With her foot is on his neck, and then she took the shulam and pierced him. Eva समुत्पत्य
एवमुक्त्वा समुत्पत्य एवमुक्त्वा समुत्पत्य
सारूढा तं महासुरम्
सारूढातं महासुरम् सारूढातं महासुरम्
पादेनाक्रम्य कण्ठे च
पादेनाक्रम्य कण्ठे च पादेनाक्रम्य कण्ठे च
शूलेनैनमताडयत्
शूलेनैनमताडयत् शूलेनैनमताडयत्
एवमुक्त्वा समुत्पत्य सारूढा तं महासुरम् पादेनाक्रम्य कण्ठे च शूलेनैनमताडयत्
एवमुक्त्वा समुत्पत्य सारूढातं महासुरम् पादेनाक्रम्य कण्ठे च शूलेनैनमताडयत् एवमुक्त्वा समुत्पत्य सारूढातं महासुरम् पादेनाक्रम्य कण्ठे च शूलेनैनमताडयत्
ततः स अपि ततः सः अपि saha means he then caught by her foot padakranta padakrantaha taya, then he therefore caught by her foot. The asura was overcome by the virya, the valor of the mother. Devya viryena samvritaha, completely taken over. Samvritaha by what? Devya virena, the valor of the mother. He was totally overwhelmed by the valor of the mother. That's how strong her foot was on him. Tatassopi padakrantastaya nijamukhat tada ardhanishkranta eva seed. So what is the form on which she sought? She put her foot. What is the form she jumped on and put her foot on?
Bull.
Buffalo.
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 Buffalo, Mahisha. So she jumped onto this buffalo and put the foot on the neck of the buffalo and hit with the shulam. Then, when that happened, where is her foot? Where
On
is
the
her?
neck.
On the neck.
Neck.
So, from the head to the place where her shulam is, that is almost a third or half of the body. Ardha nishkranta eva seed. Now you see, this is very powerful, brothers and sisters. We are not even understanding what does this mean, that where her foot and shula touched, until that place the buffalo form turned into his actual form. From below it was the buffalo form. This is the beautiful vision of our mother Kanakadurga in Vijayawada, which is present right here. That is the status. That's the picture we are seeing actually. Tatassopi padakranta
ततः सोऽपि पदाक्रान्तस् ततः सोऽपि पदाक्रान्तस्
taya nijamukhat tada.
तया निजमुखात् तदा तया निजमुखात् तदा
अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासीद्
अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासीद् अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासीद्
देव्या वीर्येण संवृतः
देव्या वीर्येण संवृतः देव्या वीर्येण संवृतः
ततः सोऽपि पदाक्रान्तस्तया निजमुखात् तदा अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासीद्देव्या वीर्येण संवृतः
ततः सोऽपि पदाक्रान्तस्तया निजमुखात्तदा अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासीत् देव्या वीर्येण संवृतः ततः सोऽपि पदाक्रान्तस्तया निजमुखात्तदा अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासीत् देव्या वीर्येण संवृतः
अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ युध्यमानो महासुरः तया महासिना देव्या शिरश्छित्त्वा निपातितः अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ with the half revealed form of this Mahishasura Yudhyamano Mahasuraha. The Mahasura's Ardhanishkranta body, she fought with that. That Ardhanishkranta body of the Asura tried to fight back with the mother. That is what it is saying. Ardhanishkranta evasau Yudhyamano Mahasuraha Taya Mahasina Devya, but the Devi Maha Asi. Maha means great, Asi means sword. Taya Mahasina Devya, the mother with this great sword of hers, Siraschitva Nipatitaha. She decapitated him with her sword, the great sword of hers. She cut his head off. And that head went and fell at a place. And in Saptashringi, when you go, there is a temple where that head has fell. Mahishasura's head is fallen. Taya Mahasina Devya Siraschitva Nipatitaha Ardhanishkranta Evasau
अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ
Yudhyamano Mahasuraha
युध्यमानो महासुरः युध्यमानो महासुरः
Taya Mahasina Devya
तया महासिना देव्या तया महासिना देव्या
Siraschitva Nipatitaha
शिरश्छित्त्वा निपातितः शिरश्छित्त्वा निपातितः
अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ युध्यमानो महासुरः तया महासिना देव्या शिरश्छित्त्वा निपातितः
अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ युध्यमानो महासुरः तया महासिना देव्या शिरश्छित्त्वा निपातितः अर्धनिष्क्रान्त एवासौ युध्यमानो महासुरः तया महासिना देव्या शिरश्छित्त्वा निपातितः
Tataha haha kritam sarvam. Then when his when this asura was destroyed, his entire army of this Daitya. What does the word Daitya mean?
demons.
What does the word?
Asuras.
That is for sure. What is the actual meaning, root meaning?
Diti's sons.
Diti's sons. Daitya, very good. Who is Diti?
Kashyap's.
Kashyapa's wife. Now, what's her name actually mean?
That which divides.
Very good. That which divides. What? So, therefore, what do Daityas do?
Divisive in nature.
Division. Rajasic nature divides everything around it. It destroys the unity. It doesn't bring unity. It destroys unity. Therefore, they are called Daitya. See, this is exactly what we need to be focused on. To learn is good. To understand is better. To be aware is perfect. You understand 3 steps? This is the Veda study. To learn is good. It's great that you are all learning and chanting and practicing, perfecting. All of that is good. That's the very first step. But to understand the implied meaning, not the what we call as there is shabdam and there is ardham. The word is good and it conveys a meaning and it conveys the meaning as a pointer. But taking that pointer, you have to go inside to understand. To understand. That means to go below that, to understand. Then it will become inner stand. That is awareness. So this Daitya Sainyam Nanashatat, all this army of the Asura, Tato Haha Kritam Sarvam, all of them started saying, ha ha, what happened here? Because they can't even comprehend how simply a woman just jumped onto this fellow, literally within a few seconds, completely destroyed him. They could not comprehend that. If you can't comprehend, what happened? That is the ha kritam sarvam daitya sainyam nanashatat praharshancha paran jagmuhu sakala devatagana. All the gods in the heavens became extremely happy. Tato ha kritam sarvan
ततो हाहाकृतं सर्वन् ततो हाहाकृतं सर्वन्
दैत्य सैन्यन्ननाशतत्
दैत्यसैन्यन्ननाशतत् दैत्यसैन्यन्ननाशतत्
प्रहर्षञ्च परञ्जग्मुः
प्रहर्षं च परं जग्मुस् प्रहर्षं च परं जग्मुस्
सकला देवता गणाः
सकला देवतागणाः सकला देवतागणाः
ततो हाहाकृतं सर्वं दैत्यसैन्यन् ननाशतत् प्रहर्षञ्च परं जग्मुः सकला देवतागणाः
ततो हाहाकृतं सर्वं दैत्यसैन्यन्ननाशतत् प्रहर्षं च परं जग्मुः सकला देवतागणाः ततो हाहाकृतं सर्वं दैत्यसैन्यन्ननाशतत् प्रहर्षं च परं जग्मुः सकला देवतागणाः
तुष्टुवुः तां सुरा देवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः. All the suras, the devas in the heaven, along with all the sages, saha divyair maharshibhihi, along with the divine effulgent maharshis, jagur gandharva patayo, the celestial gandharva chiefs, apsara, all the ganas, nanrutuhu. Nanrutuhu means they all danced in joy and ecstasy. Jaguhu gandharvapatayo nanrutuscha apsaraha ganaha. Obviously, there ends the story, the happy ending of the killing of Mahishasura. Tushtuvustam suradevim
तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरा देवीं तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरा देवीं
saha divyair maharshibhihi
सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः
तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरादेवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः
तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरा देवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरा देवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः
जगुर्गन्धर्वपतयो
जगुर्गन्धर्वपतयो जगुर्गन्धर्वपतयो
ननृतुश्चाप्सरो गणाः
ननृतुश्चाप्सरो गणाः ननृतुश्चाप्सरो गणाः
तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरादेवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः जगुर्गन्धर्वपतयो ननृतुश्चाप्सरो गणाः
तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरा देवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः जगुर्गन्धर्वपतयो ननृतुश्चाप्सरो गणाः तुष्टुवुस्तां सुरा देवीं सह दिव्यैर्महर्षिभिः जगुर्गन्धर्वपतयो ननृतुश्चाप्सरो गणाः.
So here you have to pay attention to in this last three shlokas. There is that blue vertical line. Now the technicality of chanting. The viramas are indicated by those. Virama means pauses. Whenever there is a short vowel followed by a long vowel, the pause is not as much as a long vowel followed by any vowel. You understand? You all know what an oval is, right? Hopefully. So, so here in this case, it is a short oval followed by short oval sound. Ardha nishkranta hevasid. You don't give too much gap. That's the blue line. You give a gap, but it is not a long gap. However, if you say Namaste Astvayudhaya. There, Namaste Astvayudhaya. There, it is a little longer gap. You have to pay attention to all these expert chanters. I sent that note. I hope you all read it at least about Rudram chanting. Now, those that are able to at least pronounce letters properly and follow the swara, now you have to pay attention to all the other things. Sama, Balam, Santanam, whether the Mahapranas are pronounced, are they pronounced in conjunction, the Viramas are in place, all those things. There are 7 aspects that I summarized in that email. So if you score 70% in all the 7 aspects, please email me. Then you are ready to coach others. Huh? If you are good in only first 2 aspects, which is pronunciation and the swara, that's good. That's a good start. But that doesn't end there. Then you have to pronounce the viramas properly. Or then the other thing, see, Sri Vidya beautifully chanted this nanrutu, nanrutu. So there it is not to ru, nanrutu. You should not say nanrutu. It is incorrect. It has nanrutu, chapsaro, nanrutu. That ru is the vowel. It is not a consonant. Right, in a rishi. So it is a r. So there you should not hold. Nanrutuschapsaroganah. You should not say nanrutuschapsarogan. If you do that, you added extra matra, timing associated with this. So all these, only when perfect sound is produced, then there will be perfect energy and vibration, and that perfect energy and vibration enables you to actually see the mantra. This is the reason why they emphasize how important it is to chant perfectly with pronunciation of all the siksha. Siksha means discipline. That's why Sikshavalli it is called. Sikshavalli is about discipline of chanting. And when you are having the discipline, the mind focuses so intensely, 100%. It cannot go anywhere else. And in that context, you will get not only the efficacy of the power of the vibration, but you will develop immense concentration. Immense concentration will be developed. This is the beauty of all the Veda Vidya, which we are all thinking that we can take a book and chant Veda. It is not just reading a book, sir. Our Shastras are not simply books, the holy book. Our Shastras are absolute consciousness manifested as energy of vibration. And that energy, these are not Veda mantras, these are shlokas. But even when chanting these shlokas, where truly there is no swara associated with them, but all the other aspects are still good, which is you have to pronounce the varna properly, the letters properly, the conjunctions properly, all those things. Okay, now let's close with this slokam. Swasti Sri Markandeya Purane Savarnike Manvantare Devi Mahatmye Mahishasuravadho Nama Trutiyodhyayah.
स्वस्ति श्रीमार्कण्डेयपुराणे सावर्णिके मन्वन्तरे देवी माहात्म्ये महिषासुरवधो नाम तृतीयोऽध्यायः स्वस्ति श्रीमार्कण्डेयपुराणे सावर्णिके मन्वन्तरे देवी माहात्म्ये महिषासुरवधो नाम तृतीयोऽध्यायः
ॐ श्री जगदम्बार्पणमस्तु
ॐ श्रीजगदम्बार्पणमस्तु ॐ श्रीजगदम्बार्पणमस्तु।
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, on this new year eve, a beautiful thing has happened. Mahishasura is killed. When you are killed, when you die, you start a new life. Huh? So, with this death of Mahishasura, we are starting a new life in the new year. Of course, this new year has no spiritual significance associated with the context of the lunar calendar or even the solar calendar. This is just an artificial way of dividing time, which has no context of spirituality. But yet, from a social point of view, we celebrate everything. There is no reason for not to celebrate. So let's celebrate. Okay, be happy all the time. So if somebody says happy, okay, you also say happy new year. Somebody happy birthday, okay, say happy birthday. And then whatever you want to be happy for, there is no reason for happiness. Just be happy all the time. So happy new year. And not seriously happy new year, not because I have to say it, I am saying it. Be happy. Let's all be happy. Jai Sai Ram. With that, I think we should look at this particular chapter in the depth of what it really means in the context of annihilation of all the strengths when they are overplayed in conjunction with serving a weakness called ego identification. And this ego identification is like a bull in the china shop. Literally, it is a bull in the china shop. It will destroy everything associated with it, either internally or externally, more internally than externally. And serving this Mahisha or the Chikshura, the Chamara, the Udagra, Karala, Uddhata, Bashkala, Tamra, Andhaka, Ugrasya, Ugravirya, Mahahanu, Bidala, Durdhara, Durmukha. How many I said? Huh?
40.
14. Yes, 14. And each of these culminate, the 12 culminate in the last two, Durdhara,
Durmukha.
Durmukha. And this Durdhara, Durmukha really represent Durdhara. Dhara means to bear, unbearable. Durdhara, the one who is unbearable. Durmukha, the one who is ugly faced. And we went through this last class, how beautiful those relate to fundamentally the anger that manifests as ugly expression on the face. Durdhara, Durmukha. And Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha, Sammoha Smriti Vibhramaha, Smritir Bhramshat Buddhinasho, Buddhinasha Vinashyati. This is the beautiful slokam from Bhagavad Gita, where Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, Krodhat Bhavati Sammoha. With this anger, Durdhara, uh, it actually takes over, it intoxicates one and loses the awareness. You get anesthetized by it. Sammoha. When you get anesthetized by something, sammoha, sammohat, smruti, vibhramaha, then you will actually lose your awareness, awareness of connection to who you actually are. And sammoha, krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smritir bhramshat, buddhinasho. When awareness is now disturbed, then buddhi, the intellect, stops functioning. Buddhinasho vinashyati. If you don't have intelligence because of the lack of awareness, intelligence that is associated with awareness, that's what we are talking about. When that is destroyed, then you will be sure to fall down. Vinashyati, buddhinasho, vinashyati. So, as I said many times, studying Bhagavad Gita, studying Devi Mahatyam is one and the same. All the principles associated with everything that is described in Bhagavad Gita. In fact, if you start studying Bhagavad Gita after learning Devi Mahatyam, it would start actually, you will really begin to see the glory of the, the divine consciousness much more significantly, but more practically. Very hard to understand Bhagavad Gita without some story behind it. And this story is the mother's glory. Now, with that, when we are looking at this Devi, this Mahishasura, and the Mahishasura aspect about how many different ways the Mahishasura manifests in the context of the of destruction. We went through that in the beginning of the class, and then how many different forms the Mahishasura takes. Has anybody thought about that? The question I don't think we discussed last week was, why is he changing one form to another form? Somebody asked that question. Who asked that question? And I said, do the homework and come back. Oh, Manisha. As usual, Manisha asked the question. Yes. Manisha, you asked the question, right? Were you the one who asked the question?
Um, no, I didn't ask that question. Somebody else asked.
Okay.
But I'm interested, very much interested to
Oh,
know
no,
that.
then who wants to volunteer? Has anybody thought about why Mahisha? Have you all connected to how many forms he has changed during the process? How many forms he has changed?
He's Simha, Purusa, Mahagaja,
No.
Mahasimha.
I asked how many. I didn't ask what forms.
Okay.
Four.
Four.
Four forms.
Yeah, actually it's five. To begin with, it's a buffalo. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it is five.
So actually, yeah, five, but in the end, it becomes a half buffalo, half man.
Yeah, that is at the end, all the way at the end when she touched him, right? Okay. But in the war, he changes into five forms. But at the end, he was Ardhanishkranta. He was half revealed. Ardhanishkranta, half revealed as man and buffalo, not fully revealed. Am I hurting your brains asking all these questions? Murthy Archa, be honest. Is your head hurting with all these questions? What does it mean, all this changing these forms?
Escaping from the situation by changing your understanding, I think, and you try to avoid the situation.
Close enough, yes.
You know,
So what?
sometimes you, sorry,
Uh,
sometimes people get defensive and give different reasoning of their anger, why they are angry.
Very good. Madhuri wants to say something. No? Okay.
Oh, if it doesn't work one way, try another.
Yeah, yeah. That
So
is the actual answer. Yes. The pursuit of this ego is so strong. If it doesn't work one way, manipulate another way. And its nature is to manipulate. Are you seeing this? Are we all, do we understand this? Huh? We are so used, and then once you get what you want, you know what to use. Now this is from the childhood it happens. From the childhood you start manipulating the mother first. You will throw this, you will hit the foot, you will do this, you will do that, and somehow or the mother cannot, finally, this physical mother, not the divine mother. The divine mother knows you are playing drama. That's why she let him. She was watching all the drama happily, drinking from her divine cup. She was not perturbed at all. She knows this is all the drama of the ego. But the physical mother is not love. The physical mother is mostly affection and attachment. And so, therefore, when you are throwing these so called tantrums, she will surrender and she'll give you what you want. And so, when in the very beginning itself, your ego knows if I throw a tantrum, it will work. You understand? Hmm. And now that becomes a habit. And now when you grow up, the same tantrums are thrown. Now at another person called spouse. uh, then, then, the, then, then this drama of the ego is the Mahishasura's drama. And how many ways this ego plays. Srinivas, am I making sense? Yeah? Are you perplexed?
Little bit and understanding.
Little bit in understand. Tell me, I can see that's the beauty of seeing the face. I can actually look at the faces and say who is actually lost in this thing and who is actually following this. Otherwise, I can't tell. Only God will help you. Okay, what is what is the perplexity? What is you're not connecting to it? You
No,
haven't
I
seen
am
this.
connected, but I am how ego actually try to takes different forms to whatever in the direction it wants to.
Mhm.
So that's where my little bit I'm
Have
little
you
bit confused.
have you seen people who throw tantrums when they don't get what they ask for? Do you? Have you watched?
Yes,
Okay. Have you seen them now? Andite juttu andagapothe కాళ్ళు be kind of business in Telugu? Yes or no?
yes, Anna.
Okay. So what is it that is not clear now? You can watch others, but you can't watch within yourself. Is that the confusion?
Yes, yes, that is always there.
I can identify this in other people, but I somehow cannot identify that within me, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And why we can't identify our own mistakes? Because this is the beginning of the class.
Because we
O-
don't observe ourselves.
Okay. That means what?
We are not aware about what we are doing.
Yeah. So that means what? See, if you can notice that behavior in others and you don't notice it within yourself, that means what? I understand you are not aware of it, but that means what?
We are not conscious of what we are doing.
Yes, but in other way of saying is we are completely identified with that. Therefore, we can't see it. Am I
Yeah.
making
Mhm.
so you can only notice it in others and not within yourself because you became that. Therefore, you are identified with it 100%, inseparably identified with it. So, what's the obvious next question?
How to try and notice it within yourself.
Does it take that long for somebody to answer? You are all completely identified with the question, therefore, you cannot can't answer it. So then how do I separate myself from that identification that so naturally happens, right? That's happening instant. Now, Srinivas, are you following what your confusion is?
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's clear. It is. One is
Crystal. Hmm.
ignorance, and the ego actually drives us not to understand our own inner weakness.
Now he is talking. Yeah. So what did you say? Say it slowly and more clearly for yourself.
Because of our ignorance, we don't travel inside us. So,
Ignorance of what? What is the ignorance?
awareness. Ignorance is lack of
La-
awareness.
Yeah, I know, but ignorance about what? What
Our
Of
is
true
that
the
negative
self,
quality
our
that you
true
saw
self.
in the other.
No,
ignorance?
our identification with the
Yeah, that
ego
yeah,
that
identification
we
with
do.
the body and the ego, or the ego that is only present in this body. That is the ignorance. Complete identification with that. You can't separate those two. Yes, you are not able to separate those two. So the
Sairam.
so the next question is how to separate always. Umaji is very keen to give the answer. Yes, Umaji, how do you separate?
No, no, not answering. My just my problem. I'm just I can identify my minuses, and almost daily when I wake up, I pray that I shouldn't commit that mistake. But more I pray, I fail, the more I commit mistakes. Maybe my negatives are coming out, I don't know. But
Oh, that is even more problem. Then the more you
maybe,
notice, you see that, oh, there are more and more and more. And oh my God, this is a very beautiful phenomenon. So how to
Sairam, even when we sit in Patti, when Swami comes, though we have all positive feelings, our negative feelings also come out. So I really feel that our negatives are in that way eliminated. Swami has that way of negating our minuses.
yeah, that is another
It's, it's
beautiful
what I can understand.
sorry, Amma, your phone is tripping, but your voice is tripping. So what Umaji is saying,
Sorry.
if I recall, if I repeat or paraphrase, is the question is how to identify, and this how to identify those or even pay attention to that. That's where there is this practical spiritual thing, is to make your inner consciousness, which is nothing but Bhagwan, as a coach. As a coach. So, what does a coach do? Coach doesn't tell you how many points you scored. Pay attention to this, please. A coach doesn't tell you how many points you scored. A coach will always tell you how many points you missed. I was fortunate to be with Phil Jackson one time in Chicago. Long, oh God, I mean, I don't want to make sound I'm so old, but long time in a forum we were together, and I asked, you know who all Phil Jackson is, right? You are all much young to know who Phil Jackson is. You are all much younger people. Phil Jackson was the coach, head coach of the Bulls, Chicago Bulls team, and he was the coach of Michael Jordan, whose name Many of you youngsters may not know. So that's why I said makes me feel so old. Huh? Bulls time is I'm talking about basketball during Bulls time, and Michael Jordan was an amazing. So Phil Jackson, I asked Phil Jackson, when you call Michael Jordan onto the sideline, what do you tell him? Do you tell him, "Oh, Michael, you played that shot so beautiful. It was so amazing." Do you praise him? Do you congratulate him for 40 points scored? He said, "Absolutely not." I tell him, "Michael, you could have scored 50 points. How shame on you! You only scored 40." And then I will tell him what are all the points he missed, not what are all the points he scored, because that's irrelevant. That's ordinary potential. That's the potential of Michael Jordan. But Jordan's potential is more than 40 points. He could have scored 50 points. So how to identify? This is the question you're asking. We're talking practically. So if you make God your coach and be honest, this is like doing the Rudram chanting and scoring your own points. Back to the homework. Huh? And be honest. 99% will be afraid to do the homework because they don't want to know. Oh my God, all this time I was in bliss, and suddenly the Shakerji wants me to score my own mistakes, and now I'm doomed. I'm going to figure out now, oh my God, all this time I was chanting all these mistakes. You don't want to know your mistakes because that's what is called you're totally blissed out and happy with your own lack of awareness. But once you make God or Swami your coach, sir, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you, this world is only there 99% of the time to please you, to tell you what you want to listen, but not to tell you what you should be listening to. So what will tell you, oh, you are so beautiful, no? Such a nice sari and all that stuff. They will always be telling you some nonsense that is irrelevant to you. Yes, of course I am beautiful. Yes, of course I am. What is, but does anyone come and tell you, hey, have you noticed that you made this mistake? They won't, because they think it is politeness. And I understand that politeness. You don't tell mistakes to every Tom, Dick and Harry walking on the street. You don't, because it's none of your business. You don't have to point out others mistakes. But in the case of God, you have to make it a spiritual practice and enroll him as your coach and ask him every night before you sleep, play the whole thing or write it down and say, then he will tell you, here you made a mistake. You didn't speak properly. You didn't look properly. You didn't listen properly. You didn't behave properly. You didn't you didn't feel properly. All these things he will be 100% brutally honest with you if you allow him to be your coach. He won't praise you he will never. If he praises you, that means you're done, you're doomed, you're done with him. If Swami praises you, oh, you are this great, that great, etc., you're done. Life is done. Fold up, ready to pack and leave the body. If Swami tells you your mistakes, he is giving life to you. If Swami praises you, he is not, he doesn't care about you, because only for those you care, you try to make sure that they are lovingly becoming sculpted by chiseling away what they are not and who they actually are. Therefore, a sculptor will not put some nice decorations on a boulder and say, hey, boulder, how great you are. You have a beautiful. He will take a chisel and a hammer and chip away everything that is not associated. And that hurts and that's painful. And after that you decide, no, 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 I don't want to be this, I don't want to be this, beautiful sculpture anymore. Let me be a boulder. I'm happy lying somewhere, people walking on me and trampling on me. I'm fine with that. You know the story, Swami tells the story of the two boulders were lying in a barren land, and the a guy comes and asks the question, hey, one of you, I want to go and make a beautiful Krishna idol. And the boulders ask, so what does that mean? And then the sculptor says, I'm going to take you and hit you with a hammer and a chisel, and it's going to hurt. One boulder said, hey, why go through all of that stuff? I'm happy here, let me be happy here. And then the other guy said, oh, then I become a beautiful, is there a beautiful Krishna idol in me? Truly? Are you telling me there is a beautiful Krishna in me? And he says, of course there is a Krishna in you. But you have to give up what doesn't belong to you to reveal the Krishna in you. And then one boulder says, I am up for it. Take it. Huh? We are all the boulders. May the sculptor sigh. Surrender yourself to him. Make him the coach. Tell him to hammer you, chisel you, take away what doesn't belong to you, which means every mistake committed because of false identification and ignorance. And then we will turn into a beautiful sculpture, which is then washed with milk, everything, Abhishekam done to it, adored, and you get the energy of every being that is poured on you, like just like you give the energy to the idol. And that is the beauty of this whole process of that. And therefore, brothers and sisters, all these let me look at if there are any questions here, and if there are any questions you can, and you don't want to speak, you can also post it. How can we hear, how can we hear him? How do I know if it is really him speaking? Oh yeah, that is another question. That is how do I know whether it is my head speaking or my heart speaking? Very common question. Vijay Kasturi has answered to that. Vijay Kasturi, వాడేం వినట్లేదా? I think he is in the,
Yeah, I'm listening, uncle. So I don't know what I answered last time.
oh, and it is because
Maybe I'm not fully aware of what I answered.
no, because your heart was speaking. If your head was speaking, you would have remembered it. Because remembrance occurs only by the head. If you actually are in the moment and doing things, it is your heart that's working. And therefore, you have no impression of how this is the beautiful another spiritual exercise. How do I listen to him? It's not with the head. You have to listen with the heart. How do I listen with the heart? That means you are in the moment. You are without any thought. You are not trying to do analysis paralysis. It is not intellectual. It's not figuring it out. And there is no one answer to it. If you are in the moment and it is there, then you actually, the only things that are registered or not registered are the mistakes. Everything else is ignored. How many times you remember you sang a beautiful bhajan and you felt, and people come and tell you, oh man, how beautifully you sang that bhajan. But you're trying to figure out, really, what did I sing? How did I sing? If you say thank you, your head sang. If you did not remember what you sang and you were in the moment and you sang it and there was no registration whatsoever, then that was not you singing, that was not you chanting. Okay, Sairam. Yes. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll close now with the Shama Prarthana. Thank you, Sri Vidya. Beautiful chanting as usual. Happy New Year to all of you. Jai Sai Ram. Let's take a moment and be thankful for what has all happened this year. The most beautiful thing for me personally that happened this year is the yajna in Sacramento. And that was completely Bhagavan's grace. We were not even sure if the yajna will even happen because of the pandemic, because of fire permits. Until 4 days before the yajna, he was 100% actually testing. Have you surrendered? Have you surrendered? Have you surrendered? Who is doing the yajna? It's not a bunch of people doing the yajna. It's Bhagavan through all those hands and those heads and hearts. He is doing the yajna. And not only that, a lot of people ask the question, so what, a yajna happens? So what, a yajna happens? Look at the rains that are happening in Sacramento this rainy season. And look at the record of the rain in the last several years. I can't believe that there are going to be floods in California in several places. God is love and nothing but that. And we are very grateful to Swami for that. I am also very grateful to the Swami and all of you for giving me an opportunity of self reflection and self awareness through this forum, which is truly a great blessing of Bhagavan. As I said, to learn is good, to understand is better, to be that in awareness is perfect. So, what a beautiful sadhana together that we are doing, not simply learning shlokas and repeating them, which is important, which is good, but it is doesn't just stop there. This is a continuous learning process. I'm grateful to Bhagavan for the family that supports me through all this craziness. Uh, that is another beautiful thing you have to appreciate. The environment around you sometimes will not allow you to be grounded in it. And so you have to be grateful that Bhagavan gave us all our own families, our own community. I'm grateful for all the brothers and sisters at the Sai Center who also put up with this craziness for some time and giving that beautiful center where there is nothing but love and peace and joy and complete rejuvenation when you enter that place. Not only me, but for all of you as well, your own Sai centers. And grateful for the community that has supported us sustain our lives through COVID and more. And we pray that the love and the light of God be upon all of us and ours, always in always. And we seek forgiveness within ourselves for those that were even inadvertently, were disturbed or hurted or harmed by our thoughts, words, and deeds. Jai Sai Ram. यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं तु यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देव नारायण नमोऽस्तु ते विसर्गबिन्दुमात्राणि पदपादाक्षराणि च न्यूनानि चातिरिक्तानि क्षमस्व साईश्वर अपराधसहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व साईश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मात् कारुण्यभावेन रक्ष रक्ष साईश्वर हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्री साईश्वरार्पणमस्तु स्वस्तिः प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेण मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की
Jai.
Jai.
Happy